Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
When he was 21, Mr. Rudi Rudenski had a near-death experience that changed his life forever.
And inside of the hallway, there was a book, and it would stand out. And when you looked at the book, it would be the story of a butterfly, the story of a spider. It might be the story of a person, their whole life. And it would just open up in 3D. You would just see it. It was like you're there. You're experiencing it. But what I understood was that every beetle, every butterfly, every spider, every person, every tree has a book.
Learning to Love, the near-death experience of Rudi Rudenski, part 1 of 2. Watch on to find out more.
Today's show will be presented in Polish and English with subtitles in Arabic, Aulacese, also known as Vietnamese, Chinese, English, French, German, Hindi, Indonesian, Japanese, Korean, Mongolian, Persian, Polish, Spanish and Thai. Witajcie wyniesieni widzowie. Jestem Małgorzata z przyjaznego miasta Warszawy w Polsce. Mieszkańcy mojego kraju są wdzięczni za każdy wasz życzliwy wybór, który przynosi korzyści naszym bliźnim na ziemi. Niech niebo was błogosławi. Witajcie w części pierwszej naszego dwuczęściowego programu Nauka miłości, doświadczenie bliskie śmierci Rudiego Rudenskiego. W ciągu swego życia pan Rudenski miał wiele doświadczeń, w tym bycie mężem i ojcem, pilotem amerykańskiej armii, nauczycielem języka angielskiego, wykonawcą, prezenterem radiowym i nauczycielem niewidomych. Ale tylko jedno doświadczenie na zawsze zmieniło jego życie. W wieku 21 lat Rudi był w drodze na szkolenie wojskowe, kiedy rozpętała się nagła burza i stracił kontrolę nad swoim samochodem. Gdy jego głowa uderzyła w boczne okno samochodu, stracił przytomność. Doświadczył śmierci klinicznej i miał zmieniające życie doświadczenie bliskie śmierci, NDE. W dzisiejszym programie pan Rudenski opisuje, co wtedy widział i jak to bardzo zmieniło jego zdanie na temat życia i Boga. Dzieli się swoimi wspomnieniami po wypadku.
I was alert, I was conscious, at least in the way I remember it, but everything was dark around me. And then my life started flashing before my eyes. I saw my life from the very beginning, whenever I was born, and I went through a series of experiences that I had during that time. For example, I remember being with my mother when I was a little baby and the way that she loved me. And then later on, I remembered going out on a boat with my grandfather. And then I went on through my life with my friends, my family, really important moments in my life that were important. So I would remember and see it as if I was 3D, like as if we were right here today. But even more so, what I remembered was that what was important were times whenever people were kind to me and when I was kind to others. Now, my little film of those kinds of things was not very long. Mostly, I just was very selfish and didn't think of others much at all. So I think what happened for me was that I was shown what was important. Kindness, compassion, mercy, love. And I'm not talking about the kind of love that we have for a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or wife. I'm talking about kindness. I call it loving kindness. Now that was the most important times of my life.
Po tym pierwszym doświadczeniu życia po śmierci, pan Rudenski na krótko wrócił do swojego ciała. Ale kolejny wypadek sprawił, że umarł po raz drugi. Tym razem jego doświadczenie było inne.
But this time, I went back to that really dark place. And I just knew that I didn't belong there. And I looked up, and I saw a little bitty point of light way up high. And I didn't know where I was exactly there, but I knew I wanted to go to the light. And so all of a sudden, I just started lifting up. And my arms were behind my back, and I was just going up into the light. As I went further up, it would get brighter and brighter and brighter. And the light that was shining down on me was love. It was the most pure love that you can possibly imagine. And a joyful kindness. I knew that whatever it was up there loved me. And I was going home.
Zrobimy teraz krótką przerwę na spacer w słońcu i poczujemy błogosławieństwa, które nam przynosi. Wrócimy wkrótce po tej wiadomości. Witamy ponownie. Słuchając dalej opowiadania pana Rudiego Rudeńskiego, który w swoim doświadczeniu bliskim śmierci znalazł się otoczony przez światło.
I was in a bright, bright place. Imagine 1,000-watt light bulb coming from a dark room into a very, very bright room, and the light was amazing. I went through the door, and I was greeted by, I would call it a ball of light. I have since called it other things. I've called it Jesus. I've called it a being like Jesus. I've called it my attorney. I've called it lots of different things, but more or less it was my best friend. Somebody who had been watching over me and was taking care of me and had my best interest at heart. Somebody who protected me. And he just wanted me to gather up my life review because I was going to go to be judged. And so I followed him into a cloud room. I don't know how to describe it other than to say it was like a huge cavern with rounded walls. And there were alcoves off to each side of the hallway. And inside of the hallway, there was a book, and it would stand out. And when you looked at the book, it would be the story of a butterfly, the story of a spider. It might be the story of a person, their whole life. And it would just open up in 3D. You would just see it. It was like you're there. You're experiencing it. But what I understood was that every beetle, every butterfly, every spider, every person, every tree has a book that I was led to my life. And the place where my life story was opened up, and I saw my life review again, the same thing that I saw before. This was the times whenever I was blessed by others. I would say the word blessed is a kind of a religious term. I would say times when people were kind to me or compassionate or merciful. The times I experienced nature and sunrises and sunsets. Every beautiful moment in my life was in my book. And I took my book with me, and this being of light that was my attorney or my best friend, he walked with me, and we walked together down a hallway out of the cloud room. My best friend, he says to me, "Keep your head down because you will die if you look up." I didn't understand why. I think I do now, because the next thing I experienced was the most amazing, beautiful light flowing through me, just blasting through me. And it was just made out of joy and kindness and love. And so I think at this point, I know that what I would have done if I would have looked up is I never could have gone back to my body. There's no way. How could I experience that in the completeness of it when my body is broken and shattered down below? I wouldn't have been able to. So I went in and I kept my head down like low. And I looked to the right, though, and I looked to the left, and there was a Colosseum. It was huge. There were all of these beings, and I didn't look up to see them, but I knew they were there, and they were cheering. It was as if it was a party, and I was invited, and to the biggest party you could possibly imagine. Imagine that every single person I will ever know, every person I'll ever have an impact on. For example, during this show, if somebody sees this show and it makes them smile, they'll be there. And so I would hear them, and all these people that I touch in some way, or that touched me, those were kind to me, who were merciful, that led me along the path towards something beautiful. They were all there. And it was amazing. It was as if I was not being judged, more or less, but I was being celebrated. As if I was the most important person in all the world. That's how I felt. And I couldn't help but just be stunned. Why would they care about this kid who all he wanted to do was hurt people and kill people in the military? God, that I understood before my near-death experience, hated almost everybody except people just like me, with my religion and my complexion and my politics. But I was so wrong. God loved everyone. Or I'll take that back a little notch, and I'll say God loved the love in everyone. Or whatever that thing is called the light.
Błogosławieni widzowie, dziękujemy, że byliście dziś z nami na części pierwszej Nauka miłości, doświadczenie bliskie śmierci Rudiego Rudeńskiego.